This is the Insta360 X5, a do-it-all-in-one action camera with insane stabilization, decent battery life, and incredible 8K 30fps video recording. Sort of. You see, it can record 8K video and it does a rather beautiful job. Footage, as you can see here, is just effortlessly stunning. But then when you go ahead and reframe it to an actual normal usable shot, you're actually looking at closer to 4K instead. So whilst it can record 8K 30fps, it's not technically 8K that you can make full use of, unless you want videos to look like this. And yet, it's exactly how I think 8K video should be done. You see, the thing is, phones shoot 8K as a bit of a gimmick. It looks pretty much no different to 4K. Pro cameras, 8K is a nightmare to edit unless you've got a beast of a PC. And then platforms-wise, there's pretty much nothing that supports 8K content at the moment, and we certainly don't have the devices in our pockets to make full use of it, and I don't think we ever will. The Insta360 X5 flips that on its head, using 8K purely as extra room to crop, and honestly, that's exactly how 8K footage should be used. Beyond the headline 8K content, you've got buttery smooth 5.7K at 60fps, and then we've got 4K up to 120fps for super slow motion. Dynamic range has also taken a step in the right direction too, with a new PureVideo mode from the summer update. It does a great job in low light. It dials back that noisy, kind of mushy look that you normally get with action cameras at night, and the results are actually surprisingly usable. HDR video is also here this year, and I think it's one of the main things that makes the Insta360 X5's footage look so good straight out of the box. It's not just a checkbox feature, it actually balances highlights and shadows without that weird flickery look that we've seen on earlier models. And stabilization, it's still basically witchcraft. FlowState just locks everything down, and whether you're running, hiking, or just holding it handheld, combine that with a 360 horizon lock and you can literally spin the camera upside down and the footage will stay dead level. And the best part about all of this is all these modes and features just work seamlessly inside the Insta360 Studio app. It's a sort of shoot first, worry about the angles later type deal. It's complete creative freedom, and things like PureVideo really does help ensure the footage is the best quality it can be straight out the box without any editing. But PureVideo isn't the only new feature to come out of the Insta360 X5 and the summer update. We've now got replaceable lenses. You can swap these out in literally less than 60 seconds, which makes perfect sense for an action camera, and I'm not quite sure why this wasn't a thing on previous models. We can also swap out the battery. Now, battery life is a very hot topic on the Insta360 X5. That was a cleverly placed pun. And this year, Insta360 have brought out their brand new Ultra batteries. They have a recognizable orange strip on them as opposed to blue, and they even come with a protective case that has memory card slots in it. Really nice touch. The Ultra battery is 2,800 milliamp hours, which is actually nothing to write home about, but it's around 16.6% larger than the included battery that comes with the Insta360 X5, which is 2,400 milliamp hours. But during my 1-hour test of each battery, this happened. When testing the Ultra battery versus the normal battery, the Insta360 got really hot, but it didn't shut down. Now, we're recording at 8K 30fps, the most demanding format possible, so heat is to be expected. What's even more interesting though is that I'd seen other reviewers do tests and find that the Ultra battery was actually overheating and shutting down around the 50-minute mark. This did not happen for me. What was curious from my test though was that the Ultra battery actually had less battery left over after an hour of recording than the normal battery. Exactly the same settings. Now, I appreciate that I need to redo this test several times to make sure we've got conclusive results, but even just one time getting these results really does make you question the value of this new Ultra battery. You'd expect the results to be night and day. The fact that I've got even one set of results where the battery life of the two are so far apart in the wrong direction really does make me question things. In general though, there are actually a lot of positive things to say about the Insta360 X5's battery life. I've not actually ran out of battery once on any of my outings, and I've had it going for around about an hour hour at a time on average and not encountered any overheating or flat batteries, but I did discover connecting your phone does seem to drain the battery a little bit faster. All in all, I'm really impressed with the Insta360 X5's battery life, but just think twice before shelling out on one of those ultra batteries. Now, video is only really one part of the Insta360 X5 experience. It's actually got a built-in microphone and it's been built with your adventures in mind. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. The wind noise is surprisingly not an issue, and I went across a bridge on a motorway at night, and trust me, that place is ridiculously windy, and I had absolutely no issues. The microphone is fine for picking up some ambience, and dare I even say you can probably even vlog with it these days with AI, or you can use one of these. This is Insta360's new GPS microphone, which I both like and dislike. The bad is, why do I want a microphone strapped to my wrist? I mean, sure, it makes sense for some scenarios, but if you're running, for example, and making use of their chest mount, it's just not practical. But then you might say, well, Alex, you can just strap it to your top, and you definitely can, but then brings another issue because this is actually a remote control and a preview device for the camera itself. So putting that on your top also doesn't make sense. It's also, as the name suggests, a GPS device, which for a nerdy runner like me was actually quite exciting. You can now attach your GPX data to your video footage inside Insta360 Studio and display a whole host of data like your speed, your route, and more. It makes for a very fun social media post, and it's good for things like Strava. I've made some really fantastic content with this. I'm just in two minds about the accuracy of it. It was in a very heavily wooded area when I was testing this, so benefit of the doubt and all that. That aside, the flexibility that you get with an onboard microphone and the new GPS remote can really help you make some pretty wicked content with the Insta360 X5, and it kind of proves that you don't need to be jumping out of planes to enjoy a device like this. Now, flexibility really is the buzzword when it comes to the Insta360 X5, and one of the smartest features this year is InstaFrame. You can go ahead and record in 360, then instantly export both a flat video and a reframed 360 version from the same clip. That means one hike, one file, and two different edits. And the app, whether you're using it on your mobile phone or your desktop, just makes everything so simple. You can swipe to follow yourself, spin the camera to the trail ahead, or track a point automatically. This used to be something that took a little bit of work, but now it's just a one-tap AI tracking type deal, and it's just insanely good. I actually use this to film a review for a robot lawnmower, and it made for some pretty fun content. If you're editing on a desktop as well, the workflow's actually got a lot smoother. You can export in ProRes for better quality and grading, or stick to H.265 for smaller file sizes. For faster projects, you can do all your editing in the studio and then just share directly from that. Insta360 have also gone on to add a new feature called AdaptiveTone in a recent update. It automatically balances contrast and highlights when you're reframing, so clips hold up better without heavy editing. And a really good example of this is a shot I did in the woods. You can see there's a lot of extreme changes between light and dark here, but it handles it really well. It didn't do quite as good a job when I went inside this cave, but I just want to express that the camera did such a good job in this low light scenario. In real life, I physically could not see a thing inside this cave. The bottom line is you shoot once and you've basically got content for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all in one go. And for me, this is what makes the Insta360 X5 just so practical outside the action and sports world. You really don't need to be jumping out of planes to enjoy the X5. And speaking of action, there's one really crucial thing that I haven't touched on properly yet, and that is its stabilization. It's really good. It's so smooth, and if you use the selfie stick, you can actually make some shots look like they were shot on a drone. You've also got features that go hand in hand with this, like the horizon lock feature that we touched on earlier. This will help particularly shaky, all over the place footage track the horizon so everything stays in frame for the whole way. Running with the chest mount, which is actually a really cool accessory by the way, wasn't quite as impressive, but if I was using a phone, for example, the difference would just be night and day. And I have to say, my fiance's nicknamed me Stomp because I'm so heavy-footed when I run, so part of that's probably my fault. To help with certain scenarios like hiking, running, or even on a motorcycle, for example, there are also the presets to explore as well. And speaking of presets, the Insta360 X5 actually comes with a bunch of different sports to choose from, like running, skiing, hiking, and more, all with the best settings preloaded up directly from the camera. You'll also find some other really cool features inside the camera, like that InstaFrame we talked about earlier. This isn't just something that happens within the app, it also happens directly in the camera, and you can set it to follow you around nice and seamlessly. Again, I actually use this to film one of my setup videos, and it was a really nice way to add some dynamic movement to my shots and keep things a little bit fun. Now, if you are going to be making use of some of those extreme sport